Cold emails completely changed my life. I have personally sent well over 1 million plus cold emails over the last year for myself and for all of my clients. And cold emails is the sole reason that I was able to start my own business, my own lead generation agency, scale it from $0 to $10,000 in literally 60 days and scale it to consistent 50K months. I use cold emails to acquire all of my clients. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you everything you need to know to how you can go out, set up the cold email system, start sending cold emails that will allow you to predictably generate sales calls. I'm not going to gatekeep anything, but that's enough about me. I'm just going to jump right into the video. So this is the ultimate guide to cold emails in 2024. This is everything you need to know. Obviously, this is presented by me, Jimmy Fung. I'm the founder of inboxlab.io and salesway.io. And using what I'm about to share with you today, this is the cold email system that will work for you even if you don't have your first client yet, even if you've never sent a single cold email in your life, even if you've tried cold emails in the past, maybe you got no results or maybe you got mediocre results, or you're just starting out your business, you don't really know how to generate interest, how to generate sales calls, and if you don't know where to start. Now, in fact, I will make sure that by the end of this video, you will have access to the exact same strategies and frameworks that has allowed me to generate 100 plus sales calls in the next few months. And I don't gatekeep any information, and this is literally stuff that gurus on the internet will charge you thousands of dollars for. So make sure you grab a pen, make sure you grab your notebook, grab a coffee, and pay attention. So jumping into why exactly you should listen to me, you probably stumbled across this YouTube video, you don't know who I am, and that's completely fine. But again, I'm Jimmy Fung, and over the last year and a half, I have worked with 50 plus clients with a variety of industries, helping them build a cold email system and helping them generate hundreds of sales calls. I've worked in industries such as recruitment agencies, marketing agencies, SaaS software companies, PR firms, logistic companies, law firms, driving schools, and the list goes on. And using this exact same process, again, right, I was able to just generate sales opportunities. So not only does this process works, but it works extremely well. And it works so well that using cold emails, I was literally able to help my very first clients land a sales call with VMware, which, if you don't know what that is, you go search that up. It's a publicly listed billion-dollar tech company. Here's a screenshot. This was my very first client. So this was around a year and a half ago when I just, quite frankly, knew maybe like 25% of what I know now. So what I'm about to share with you today, it just works. It really just does. And if you want even more proof that what I'm sharing with you works, at the end of this video, I included proof of other people using what I'm about to share with you today and getting a lot of replies to their emails, booking tons of sales calls, signing clients, and making money using cold emails. But obviously, that's going to be at the end of this video. That's not the purpose of what we're talking about right now. So here are the 8 things that we will be covering today, right? So the very first thing is success formula for cold emails. Number 2 is setting up your cold email infrastructure. The third thing is building your leads list. Number 4 is how to make cold emails work for your offer. Number 5 is how to build valuable sales assets. Number 6 is what actually makes a good cold email. Number 7 is my own proven cold email scripts. And number 8 is the day-to-day inbox management and maintenance of the cold email system. So jumping right into it. The success formula for cold emails. So success with cold emails is really not rocket science. In fact, it's a pretty straightforward process, and once you understand the individual parts, it's actually pretty simple to book meetings using cold emails. But the very first thing I wanted to start with is you need to understand that cold emails is simply a channel to help you generate attention and get eyeballs onto your offer, onto your business, and onto whatever it is that you're selling. It's really that simple. A lot of people online really like to overcomplicate this stuff, but it's really that simple. It's just a traffic generation mechanism. That's all it is. And it's no different than, let's say, a billboard on the side of the road, where over here is a billboard of McDonald's pushing, I think this is fries, right? This is a billboard ad where if you're driving down the highway or the freeway, you might see this, and now you're aware that McDonald's now sells fries. Or if you're watching this YouTube video, you probably got an ad, those annoying ads that you by default just press the skip now button. Yeah, that's the exact same thing. Now, the only purpose of cold emails is you're able to get in front of thousands of people and you're essentially seeing if they might be interested in what you have for sale. And obviously, not everyone's going to buy. If you put your stuff in front of 1,000 people, a very small portion of those people will be actually interested in what you have. And now, once they're interested, you have pulled them inside of your sales ecosystem, your sales atmosphere, and it opens the door for you to actually sell your product or sell your service for thousands of dollars. And when it comes to cold emails, success really boils down to just really three things. The first is volume, which means how many people that you actually email and how many people you reach out to. Number two is who it is that you're actually reaching out to. And number three, how relevant you are. So relevancy. Are you actually saying relevant things inside of your actual email? So we're going to dive into each of these three things. I'm going to run over them in pretty quick detail because it's pretty self-explanatory to be honest, right? So volume, pretty straightforward. And like anything else in sales, volume negates luck. Obviously, cold emails is part of sales. You're generating interest to help you sell your product. So it is sales. And obviously, someone who is sending 50 emails a day will get completely different results than someone who is sending 1,000 emails per day, right? It's pretty simple math. But I'm not telling you to go out and just blast 1 million emails just because I just said that, or send out a bunch of spam emails and kind of just close your eyes, pray, and hope for the best. That's not what I'm telling you to do. What you need to do is ensure that you're getting in front of the right people with messaging that is relevant, and when you're able to do both of these two things combined with volume, you will literally just print and get a ton of really great results. Now, the second aspect is who. So let's use an example. Let's say you're trying to sell your service to marketing agencies, whatever service that you're selling, and you're selling it to marketing agencies, but you end up reaching out to realtors instead. Now, obviously, there's a pretty extreme example, but obviously, you're not going to get any results. Now, on the other side, if you know that you typically sell to, let's say, the founders of a marketing agency, if you end up reaching out to the wrong person at those marketing agencies, so let's say you reach out to the finance manager, obviously that's not going to help you either. So when you're sending cold emails, make sure you're understanding exactly who it is that you're selling to, and make sure you're getting in front of the right decision makers. Now, finally, the third point is relevancy. So assuming you have enough email volume, assuming that you're reaching out to the correct people, the final piece of the puzzle is making sure that your message is actually relevant. Now, obviously, a lot of people really focus on this aspect, but if you send 1 million emails to the right people, but you're writing some random BS, you're obviously still not going to get any results. So make sure your message is relevant to the person you're reaching out to, with a message which is clear, direct, and easy to understand at a quick glance. Now, these are the components that most people think of when they're struggling with cold emails, but to be honest, you need a combination of all three of these things in order to see cold email success. All of them are equally important, and we'll be diving into all three of these things in today's video. So the very first step is obviously setting up the cold email infrastructure. And this is one of the most overlooked aspects in terms of success with cold emails. Because before we even put together a cold email script or do anything else, we first have to make sure that we actually build out the infrastructure that will allow us to email thousands of people every single day, while making sure that our emails actually get delivered and actually gets read. So earlier, we talked about the importance of volume. Now, at my own lead generation agency, this is my own business that works with other businesses to generate sales calls using cold emails. Here's typically what our setup looks like for ourselves and most of our clients. We typically set up somewhere between 15 and 17 domains, around 50 email accounts. And what that means is we're able to send 1,500 cold emails daily and 45,000 total emails every single month. That's the typical structure. Now, obviously, depending on the offer, depending on the business, these numbers might fluctuate, but I just wanted to include this to give you a rough general idea of kind of the numbers behind how all of this works. And if you really think about it, it's damn near impossible to not see any results if you're emailing 45,000 people every single month. The math just works in your favor. But obviously, the first thing we need to do is we're going to dive into the setup of each of these things in detail. But a super important thing to be aware of is the fact that you obviously can't just set up a bunch of email accounts, set up Gmail, set up Outlook accounts, and start sending thousands of cold emails and expect it to work. Because there's actually something called email deliverability. And email deliverability literally completely determines whether your cold emails will land in the inbox or land in the spam or junk folder. So if you open up your Gmail, I'm sure all of us have seen this before, that section on the left side that says spam. That's where your emails will go if you don't set up this process correctly. So make sure that you're paying attention to what I'm about to share with you today, because if you send a bunch of emails and it just goes into spam, you might as well have just sent nothing at all. right? And how do we actually ensure that your cold emails are delivered into the inbox successfully? Well, first, you need to make sure that your email accounts are set up the right way. So here's exactly how you're going to go and do that. So the very first thing you want to do to set up your email accounts is go under porkbun.com. Again, this is the domain provider. You use GoDaddy, you can use Namecheap. I personally just use Porkbun, and I'm going to be walking you through how to set up your email accounts from the beginning all the way to the end using porkbun.com. So the first thing you want to do is my main website is salesway.io. Salesway.io. This is my main domain. And for the purposes of what we're doing, you need to be buying burner domains and burner email accounts. And you can't be sending cold emails out of your main domain. Or for me, I can't be sending it out of salesway.io. And the reason why is because technically what we're doing is sales and marketing. So there's a risk that at any given moment, these accounts could get blocked, or they could get burned, or they could get blacklisted, whatever the case is. And if your main domain gets blacklisted, you're kind of just screwed, right? So you always want to be buying burner domains in order to lower that risk and to make sure that all is good. So what I did is I just went over into Porkbun. I just bought a new domain. As you can see, I have 33 domains for my own agency. This is my domain. And as you can look at all of these domains, they all look relatively similar to salesway.io, but obviously it's not the exact same because you will only buy it once. I'm jiggling around the spelling. So this is Saleway, the sale way, the seller way, you get the point, right? And you want to do the exact same thing. Just add an extra E, remove an S, add an extra L, remove certain letters, stuff like that. That's how you want to do it. A word of caution is make sure you're buying .com domains. So the data suggests that sending cold emails with .ca or .net or .org, it has a lot worse deliverability than sending it with .com domains, which is why you see all of these are .com domains. So the very first thing is obviously for the purpose of this video, I actually bought a brand new domain because all my other domains, as you can see, they're all set up, right? There's all of these records because they're all set up the right way. So I went and I bought this domain, saleway.com. It is empty right now. And since we are connecting it to Microsoft Outlook 365, the very first thing you want to do, Porkbun makes it easy. There's a quick DNS config button. I'm just going to press Office 365. It's going to have this pop up and press OK. And it's going to set it up. Press OK again. And as we can see, it has all of these records. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy over the domain, just a record of it. I'm going to go into Microsoft 365. So I actually just set this email account up as well, this admin center. You could just go on Google and search up Microsoft 365 admin center, create an account, and create a Microsoft 365 business basic account. Do the month to month so that you don't get locked into the annual billing. And all you want to do is once you log in, this is what this will look like. Your admin center, just search up domains, domain, go under domains settings, and you're just going to press add a domain, and you're going to add in the domain that you just bought and set up on Porkbun. So I'm just going to press use this domain. It's going to be loading, and we're going to say verify your own domain. So to basically connect this Outlook 365 over into Porkbun, it's going to tell you how to do it. So I'm just going to show you as well. You're essentially going to set up a text record. I'm just going to copy this. So go under Porkbun, go back under the domain that you just bought, text record, host. I'm just going to paste this in, text value, and then the TTL was 3600, right? And I'm just going to press add. And we see it is over here at the bottom. I'm just going to press verify, and this will take a couple seconds. Okay, awesome. So it connected and it's successfully verified. Now the next page is how do you want to connect your domain? We're gonna press continue. It's gonna be loading again. Add DNS records, you're gonna press continue. It's gonna automatically do this for you. Press it again, continue, and then you're gonna press done. And it says domain connection is done. So now we see under domains.saleway.com, the one we just bought is successfully added. Now the next thing you want to do is go under users and press active users. You should see none, or the one that you will see is the one that you would use to log into this admin center account. All you want to do is press add a user, and this is assuming you have a license. So if you don't have the license, you need to go buy the license. So for every one domain, you want to set up 3 users, which means you need 3 licenses for every domain that you have. For the purpose of this example, I only bought 1 license because, I already have these email accounts set up and stuff like that, but I'm just going to walk you through how to do this. For the first name, I'm just gonna use my name, Jimmy Fung. What you could do is, because you're setting up 3 users, you can set it up in your name. So the 3 users I'd probably use is gonna be Jimmy at salewe.com. This will be email 1. The second one might be Jim at salewe, and the last one might be jim.fung, something like that. So then that way I'm able to use 3 different users all under my name. I'm just gonna press automatically create a password, require this user to change the password in the first time. I'm gonna uncheck this, and I'm gonna create a password. I'm going to just write a random one, YouTube 123. I would, don't try to log into this email account, right? But I'm gonna press next. Canada, I'm going to assign a license. I'm gonna press next, custom password, and I'm gonna press finish adding. And that's how you want to go about doing this. And this is the email user. Okay, so after you have set up your domains on porkbun.com and you have set up your email accounts using Microsoft 365, your next step is to connect your email accounts onto smartlead.ai. You can use instantly.ai as well. Essentially what you're doing is you are warming up your email accounts. You're ramping them up, because you wouldn't be able to just buy a bunch of email accounts and just start blasting cold emails from day one. That's just not how it works. What you need to do is you need to slowly ramp up your email accounts over the course of 14 days. That way, after the 14 days, on day 15, when you launch your cold emails, they will just land in the inbox right away. And the way we do that is by leveraging a tool like smartlead.ai. It's very important that you do this. And the reason I'm talking about it right now in day 1 of the day 5 challenge is because this process, again, it takes 14 days. So the longer it takes you to set this up, the longer it will take you to actually send out emails, the longer it will take you to get replies, to get booked meetings, and to sign your first client. So it's super important you do this first. So once you have a SmartLead account, you want to go under email accounts. This is what this will look like. You're just going to press Outlook. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy the email account that we just set up. I'm going to refresh this, and I'm just going to copy it over. And then we're going to use the password that we just generated. It's going to ask permission requested. You're just going to press accept. And that's basically it. It will automatically connect onto SmartLead. We see that it says email connection success. You're going to just press OK. Go over into warmup, and you're just going to enable the warmup. Press enable warmup. And that's basically what you want to do. So say your mailbox will soon start receiving warm-up emails. That's all you need to do, and you're good to go. So this process does take 14 days, and that's exactly what you want to do to set up the email accounts. Now moving on to building your leads list. So your leads list and who you reach out to is literally half of the success of cold emails. Because again, right, if you have a bad email leads list, what that equals to is bad campaign results. And again, if you're trying to sell to gym owners, but you end up emailing realtors, it's just not going to get you any results. So your leads list not only establishes who you reach out to, but also the type of messaging that you want to use in your cold email campaign as well. So for example, let's say you were selling ads as a service. If you were to reach out to the founder, to the CEO, or to the owner, basically someone who runs the entire company of a marketing agency, your messaging will be completely different than if you were to reach out to a team member or employee, or in this case, a marketing manager. Because in the case of the founder, the founder has completely different priorities than the marketing manager. So as an example, a priority of a founder's might be making more money, making more revenue, saving costs, or saving time. Now on the other side, a marketing manager's priorities might be increasing the return on ad spend, increasing brand awareness, or just getting more exposure and impressions onto the company. Now the type of problems that the founder might face is also completely different than the problems that the marketing manager might face. And understanding who you reach out to and what their priorities are is also how you remain relevant with your cold email campaigns. So with this in mind, here is how you build a hyper-targeted leads list of decision makers for your cold email campaign. So what we're going to do first is we're going to go to Polloio. Polloio is a database which has all of the email addresses and the contacts of everyone you need to contact. So go over to Apollo.io, sign up for a free account, and once you sign up, log in, and this is what you see. The very first thing you want to do is go over to the search bar. This is what this is gonna look like. On the left side is the filterings to help you find exactly who it is that you're looking for. So when you're putting this together, think about who are the decision makers of the people. So obviously, for example, we're reaching out to marketing agencies, right? So the very first thing we want to do is we want to think about the location here on the left side. So where are these people located? For the purposes of our example, we're just going to put North America, but obviously you could put in UK, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, all these different places, right? But I'm just going to put in North America for the purposes of this example. After that, what we want to do is we want to go to number of employees, because this will dictate the size of the companies that you reach out to. Because obviously, if you're reaching out to someone at a larger company, the type of messaging, that the way you would do it would be slightly different from if you're reaching out to a smaller company. Now, what I recommend to most people when they're first starting out is reach out to smaller companies, right? So reach out to companies that are between 1 and 20, because the decision makers at those companies is very likely to be one single person. It's probably going to be the owner, the CEO, the founder, the co-founder, maybe the COO. Stop people like that. But if you're reaching out to companies that are greater than 20, so let's say 21 to 50 or 50 to 100, there might be multiple decision makers, and it makes your process a little bit more complex, right? And when you're first starting out, we want to keep this process as simple as possible. So I would recommend reaching out to people between 1 and 20. So now we know that we're reaching out to marketing agencies between 1 and 20 in North America. The next aspect is job titles. So again, who are those people? So I'm just gonna put in owner. We're gonna put in CEO. We're gonna put in the founder, and we're gonna put in the founder. We're gonna put in the co-founder. Those would be examples. There might be a couple others, but you want to just stop and think about that. But I'm just going to show you how to do it. So the owners, the CEO, the founder, and the co-founder. So we have the job titles now. The very next thing that you want to do, and this is a very important aspect, so make sure you pay attention here, is the industry and keywords. And there's multiple ways to do this. What most people do is they go into search industries and they just search up like marketing agencies, and you see marketing and advertising. But you do not want to do that because it's not very accurate. That's just not the best way to do it. Instead, what you want to do is you want to leave the industry keywords blank. You want to go under company keywords, and under this section of include keywords, you're going to click that, and you're going to click exclude keywords as well. And under include keywords, you're essentially going to come up with a couple keywords to find what you're looking for. So think about if you are working with marketing agencies, what might be some of the search terms that you put onto Google to find these marketing agencies? Now, obviously, the very first one is going to be marketing agency. You're just going to search that up and search it. The next one might be marketing. It might be ads. It might be social media management. There's a lot of keywords. You just want to think of as many relevant keywords as you can and add them in. You can put in like TikTok. You can put in UCG. There's a bunch out there. So that's how you want to do it. After you do that, you want to look at your list, and you don't have to go through the entire list. We see there's 150,000 of these companies that have some of these keywords, but essentially you want to just go through this list and look for companies that might not be actually marketing agencies. So for example, Flood Me Social, there's a marketing agency. Wheeler Marketing Agency, there's a marketing agency. You just want to go through this list, go through a couple pages, 2 to 3 pages, and look for companies that might not be relevant. So this is an ads agency. This is another marketing agency. So this list does look relatively accurate. What you want to do is, I'm not going to show you how to do this because it's going to take a couple minutes to do it. But essentially, you just want to go through this list and look for companies that are not. So for example, let's say you see a software company. We're reaching out to marketing agencies. We're not reaching out to software companies. So you want to exclude that in your list. So under exclude keywords, you want to write in SaaS. And that removes every single SaaS company with that keyword from it. So it removed around 4,000. We're going to remove platform. We're going to remove coach because we don't want to reach out to coaches. We're going to remove consultant. And we just removed instantly 14,000 people who are not that relevant to what we're looking for. So that's exactly what you want to do. This is how you want to put together your filtering. And as we can see, there's 136,000. And obviously, if we expanded that to other countries as well. So for example, we're for the purpose of the example, United Kingdom, for example, is going to add another 20,000 in there. So think about all the countries. So this is how you want to put together the filtering to get these marketing agencies. And as we can see, we have Danielle, who's the CEO of Wheeler Marketing Agency. That's exactly who we want to reach out to. We have Ryan, who's the founder of another marketing agency. We have Oliver, a CEO of another marketing agency. These are the direct people who we want to reach out to and sell our lead generation services to if marketing agencies is our niche. So that's what we want to do. After we do that, we obviously want to scrape this leads list. So how you want to do it is you want to go up here into the search bar. You want to copy the website URL. You want to go to this website, Apollo leadsmagically.com. It's Apollo Scraper. And essentially, you're just going to enter in your email and Apollo search URL. You're going to paste in the Apollo search URL. It's going to go like this. What you want to do is you want to select the amount of leads that you want. I recommend you scrape as many leads as possible. And the reason why is because if you know you're going to pick marketing agencies, we saw there's 150,000 of them, there's not really a point in going 10K at a time. If we know that's the niche that we're going to sell to, you might as well scrape the entire thing or as many as you can upfront to save yourself time and energy. So that's what you want to do. And obviously you're going to put it in your email. It does cost money. It's not that expensive. It's significantly cheaper than if you were to do it through Apollo. So for example, 10,000 leads off of this website, this scraper website, is going to cost you $40. On Apollo, if you got the plan, you're only able to scrape 2,000 leads for literally $100. So this is literally a lot cheaper, right? If we put the same 2,000 leads, it's $8 compared to Apollo's $100, right? Because you don't want to be using the Apollo plan. So that's what you want to do. You want to enter in your details, your email, your credit card, all those other things. And what's going to happen is you're going to submit it and you're going to wait a couple minutes or an hour, 2 hours, that type of thing. It's going to send you that list directly to your email that you put in over here. And what you're going to do is you're going to next take that list and you're going to go to this website called millionverifier.com. You're going to upload that list over here called select files to validate your list. And the reason why you need to do this, it's very important that you need to do this, is because what will happen is across this list of 150,000 people, not every single one of these people still work at these companies, right? Maybe they started a business and they closed it down, or maybe they moved to a different company, all these different things, and now their email address is just no longer valid. So what will happen is if you reach out to Danielle, who let's say works somewhere else now, the email is going to bounce because that email inbox just doesn't exist. And what will happen is that will mess up your overall email reputation and everything. You're going to pretty much just break everything, right? So it's very important that you verify all your email addresses using this website, millionverifier.com. And what's going to happen is after you do that process, it's going to give you an Excel sheet or a Google Sheets. And this is kind of example of my own leads sheet where I scraped marketing agencies. I scraped 53,000 of them that I verified and I put them onto a Google Sheet. This is kind of what that looks like. So we see, for example, we have Derek, who's the CEO of this company. This is his email address. This is the city he lives in. This is his LinkedIn URL. And this is the website of his company. And obviously we have a bunch here. We have 50,000 of these. That's exactly what you want to do. And this is kind of what that process looks like. Okay, awesome. So what we just did is we set up the entire email infrastructure. We walked you through the process of building your leads list. The next step is how to actually make cold emails work for your offer or for whatever it is that you're selling, whatever service or product it is you're selling. And we're moving into the nitty gritty stuff, the tactical stuff, right? So your offer is essentially just a quick sentence to the people who you reach out to where you explain, this is who I help, this is how I help, and this is the expected outcome of my service. So I want you to imagine for just a second, if you were just chilling at a coffee shop and someone came up to you and asked you, what do you do? What would you say? Now, the answer to what you would say to that question is essentially your offer. You might say something like, I help realtors find more home sellers. Or you might say, I help gyms sign more gym memberships. You get the point. These are all examples of an offer, a very simple one-line sentence where you're just telling people what you do and who you help and how you can help them. However, we want to make what is called a cold email friendly offer, which means that we need to be way more specific with what we're talking about. So keep in mind that if you have a poor offer, this is literally what will happen. It will become extremely unclear who you help, It'll be unclear how you help. It'll be unclear why someone will want to pay you, and literally no one would want to buy from you because what you have for sale is perceived as low value. And this is why having a clear and irresistible offer is so important. I cannot stress this enough. But first, we must understand why business owners would want to buy anything. And here are the general outcomes that business owners desire whenever they're buying any product or any service. There's really only three things. The first one is a solution that helps them make more money. The second one is a solution to help them save more money. And finally, the third one is a solution to help them save their time. So to make sure that you have a strong offer, make sure that you're selling one of these three desired outcomes. Your offer will almost always fit within any of these three buckets. So as an example, if we're selling lead generation as a service, you're reaching out to other businesses and help them generate more sales appointments, it's pretty clear that the desired outcome that a business owner might buy from you is to make more money. And again, it's important to keep in mind who you reach out to because again, I literally just said this. The business owner might care about saving money. But if you were to reach out to the head of sales, their concerns is not necessarily saving more money or saving costs. So you need to make sure you understand exactly who you reach out to. So make sure that you put yourself in the shoes of whoever it is that you're reaching out to and craft an offer with the most desired result to make your offer as valuable as humanly possible. So how do we actually make our offer valuable? Well, after I read Alex Hormozi's book, and you should go and watch some of his content or read his books on your own time because it's really good talking about offers, but he actually put together this equation, which is what actually creates value. And there's really only four things that creates value for your offer. The first one is what is the dream outcome? What is the expected outcome of your service? The second one is what is the perceived likelihood of actually achieving this said dream outcome that you're selling? Now, the other thing is how long does it take? Because obviously, if it takes a really long time to achieve an outcome, it's way less valuable than if someone said, we could do this tomorrow for you. Now, finally, is the effort and sacrifice, because obviously everything has a cost, right? The cost isn't necessarily money, but how much effort and sacrifice will it take to actually see this result? And these are the four levers that you can pull on to make your offer as valuable as possible. Now, before we move on, I want to put a word of caution. Before we move forward with the actual offer creation, it's actually important to note that you need to do research on the type of people that you're reaching out to. You need to understand what is considered a desired outcome with your target audience, because obviously everyone desires something different. You need to understand what are the specific pain points. So what are they currently doing that is just simply not working or not getting them great results? And you need to understand all of these things in order to craft a good offer, because if you don't do research, you will not be able to craft an offer. And if you move forward without doing any research and this doesn't work, then don't come back and say, hey, Jimmy, this doesn't work. Well, the answer is because you just simply didn't do the research that is required in order to get the results that you desire. But let's break this down a little bit further. Because if we just went up to a random business owner and we literally said, hey, John, we can help you make more money, well, what's going to go on in John's mind is he's going to start thinking to himself, well, this kind of sounds like BS. So what we want to do is use something called a how equation. So we start from the top. We could help you make more money. So now the question is, how do you help them make more money? Well, the next one is we could help you make more money by landing you more clients. How? By booking sales calls. How? By using cold emails. So do you see how we walked through that process of taking the outcome, using questions like how to get way more specific on the specific ways that we will help them get this outcome. So with understanding the desired outcome and how specifically we can help someone, let's go on and craft our offer. So you could use this template. There's a plug and play template. It's time tested and it just works. So use this. We help niche get results with timeline without current pain points by leveraging our unique mechanism. So with this framework in mind, let's go and actually build together out our offer. Let's use this example from marketing agencies. We help marketing agencies land 3 to 5 clients within 90 days without relying on word of mouth by leveraging our outbound organic framework. And I actually bolded out the sections that you want to plug into it. So for example, we help marketing agencies, that's the niche, get results, which is land 3 to 5 clients. This is obviously the timelines to 90 days without current pain points, which is without relying on word of mouth by leveraging our outbound organic framework, which is obviously going to be our unique mechanism, right? So anyone who reads this sentence will now know exactly who you help, the expected outcome, and how you can help them. And depending on whether you have case studies, so essentially proof that what you're selling just works, you might want to add a guarantee to your offer, as this further enhances your offer, enhances the value, and essentially it's a risk reversal from the buyer's point of view. Now the next section is how to build valuable sales assets. So remember how earlier in this video, I said that cold emails is simply just a channel to generate attention onto your business and onto what you sell. Well, a strategy that you want to use in your cold emails is leveraging something that I call a sales asset. Well, I didn't invent it, but it's called a sales asset. Essentially, a sales asset is a resource that you put together which helps you sell your service. But why do you need to create a sales asset to send cold emails? Because if you think about it, when you think about email, all you have to do is just write a few lines and call it a day. Why do you actually need to use something called a sales asset? Well, when you're sending cold emails to people who might be interested in what you sell, so we call them prospects, you have to understand that these people that you reach out to, they do not know you, they do not trust you, and they do not care about you. So with this in mind, if you reach out to cold traffic trying to sell them your service for thousands of dollars when they literally just found out about you, well, that's obviously not going to go so well, because people just won't buy from you because they just simply don't trust you. They actually don't know you. They're not going to buy and spend thousands of dollars with you when you literally just sent them a 4-line email. That's just not how it works. So essentially, a sales asset literally helps you solve each of these problems. And if done correctly, it will also accomplish the following things. Prospects will now understand clearly how your service can help them. Prospects will now trust you, and prospects will believe that you are an expert in your field. And you need all three of these things in order to actually sell your service. What you're also doing by creating a sales asset is you're also giving value upfront to prospects, because your goal of your sales asset is to make it valuable to the person who you are sending it to. Now, a sales asset can take the form of one of these following things. It could be a video, it could be a PDF, it could be a white paper. It doesn't really matter. All of these things are all different types of sales assets. Now, what I will say is, personally at my own lead generation agency, we've always seen the best results with videos. And the key is to actually make it valuable, because if you're sending a video that is essentially just BS, it doesn't actually create any value, it doesn't give new insights, well, you're essentially just wasting people's time. Someone's gonna click onto your video, watch you ramble for 5 to 10 minutes or however long your video is, and at the end of it, they're just gonna click off and be like, this person, he just completely wasted my time. And if you're gonna do that, you might as well not create a sales asset at all. So how do you actually create a sales asset? Well, the easiest way to think about it is think about the common problems related to the service that you sell and make a video that essentially provides a solution to each of these problems. So for example, let's say someone is a YouTuber. Let's say someone for myself. I create a lot of YouTube videos, right? A common problem that a YouTuber like myself might face is posting a lot of videos and just getting really low amounts of views. So if I was selling YouTube growth services to a YouTuber, my sales asset would be running over how to get more views. The problem is I'm not getting views. Now this video over here as an example that you can see, it literally says my simple trick for getting more views onto YouTube. So this video is 6 minutes long, and essentially if it's truly valuable, it's gonna provide a solution for how a YouTuber could get more views. That's a sales asset, because now this video, assuming you're actually talking about something valuable, which, you know, if you're selling YouTube growth services, you'd be teaching people how to get more views, and it solves a problem for these YouTubers. And that's why it would be valuable. Now, if a YouTuber was posting a ton of videos but simply not getting views, this sales asset would be extremely valuable, and it's now kind of just a no-brainer for the YouTuber to then take a look. Now, another example is if I had a lead generation agency and I was reaching out to business owners and I was selling cold emails as a service, I might put together a video running over exactly how to cold email and how to get results using cold emails. And, you know, hint, hint, this might be a video that you might want to create if you are running your own lead generation agency. You can find this on my own YouTube channel, and it's titled, I Sent 1 Million Cold Emails. Everything you need to know, full masterclass. Now, hint, hint, right? The problem that I am solving for business owners is someone not getting enough sales calls and they're interested in using cold emails, but they just don't know how, or maybe they're using cold emails right now and just simply not getting results. Now, someone who clicks onto this video, if they're truly having these problems, by the end of this 1 hour video, they'll walk away with tangible insights, real value that they can implement today to get more results. Now, again, I cannot stress the importance of creating something that's actually valuable, which is why you need to research the people who you are selling to and understand the problems and the common pain points that they might face. Now, there's a bunch of different ways that you can actually structure your sales asset, but here's the following format that I would recommend. So it's really just 5 things. It's pretty simple. Don't overthink it. The very first thing is a headline that makes it clear who you help and how, and try to make it a really curiosity enticing headline. Now, the second one is a quick intro on who you are, because obviously people just won't know who you are, and you need a quick little intro. Don't ramble too long because people just simply don't care. Just a very simple 20 to 30 second elevator pitch on yourself will get it done. Now, the third thing is what will you be covering? So kind of like an agenda of what you'll be talking about, because I have found that according to the data, people are just really interested. If someone's going to watch an hour, they want to make sure that you're going to be talking about things that are actually valuable to them. Now, the fourth part is the step-by-step process. So this is the process where you're actually teaching people something, where you're actually giving value and giving new insights. And finally, it's going to be at the end of your video, it's going to be a next steps or a call to action. And obviously that call to action is going to invite someone to now work with you, where at that point you have pulled them into your atmosphere and now you can sell them. So personally, I have created sales assets for myself. So here's an example of a sales asset. So this is literally proof that I'm using what I'm sharing with you today. And I've done this for all of my clients that have sold services to the following industries. So again, marketing agencies, software companies, recruitment companies, logistic companies, accounting firms, coaches and consultants, and the list goes on. And basically, this is the exact process that will turn cold traffic, so people who don't know who you are, and turn them into people who now trust you, people who know who you are, and you're essentially just warming them up. Meaning people will now know who you are, trust you, understands your service, and they're just essentially ready to get started. So what actually makes a good cold email? Well, writing effective cold email copy is kind of the meat of the cold emails, and this is by far where most people struggle, as it kind of requires the most skill, requires the most dedication, and requires the most research to actually become good at writing cold email copy. And I'm just gonna be completely honest right now, the very first time that you write a cold email, you're obviously not going to be that good, right? The first time you ride a bike, the first time you drive a car, it's going to be the worst that you're ever at, whatever it is that you're trying. So this is a process. You're going to have to write a lot of cold emails to get really good, but I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how to write good, effective cold email copy. And to skip to the sauce, obviously there's a bunch of different frameworks. There's a lot of people sharing all of these templates. You can find them on YouTube, on Google, whatever the case is. There's a million ways to write a good cold email, but fundamentally, every successful cold email really just boils down to the following 4 things. The first one is an intro line. The second one is your offer, which we kind of just discussed. The third one is case studies if you have, and if you're watching this video and you don't have case studies, that's completely fine as well. And the fourth aspect is your call to action, so your next step. But before we get into crafting your very first cold email, we must first understand what you should not do when you're writing cold emails. The first one is you need to make sure that your cold emails are short. Don't make your cold emails really long. Try to make your cold emails under 20 seconds to read. Our data literally suggests that our best cold emails, our winning cold email scripts, are all very short, very direct to the point, and under 20 seconds to read. Make sure your cold emails are direct to the point with very little fluff. Make sure that every single word inside of your cold email is there for a reason and actually moves the conversation forward. And make sure that your cold emails has a focus on them, have a focus on the reader as opposed to me. So don't use things such as, I am this person, I do this, we do that. Don't talk too much about yourself. You might have to include 1 or 2 of those things in to make sure the cold email actually flows. But the fundamental idea is make sure the focus is on the reader and how you can actually help them as opposed to a focus on you. And finally, make sure your cold emails are clear. So someone who literally, let's say they're on the toilet, using the washroom, whatever the case is, and they see your notification with your email, they click into it. If they skim that email in 10 to 20 seconds, would they have a decent understanding of what it is that you're actually saying to them, right? And if your email doesn't follow any of these guidelines, then you need to go back to the drawing board. So with that in mind, let's grab our offer that we created in the previous section. So our offer, which is we help marketing agencies land 3 to 5 clients within 90 days, adding $75,000 in additional revenue without relying on word of mouth by leveraging our outbound organic framework. That's our offer that we literally created, and we're just gonna grab that and put that over here. And I'm gonna explain to you why you want to do that. Now our next step is you want to add an intro line. So something simple such as a hi or a hello, while specifically calling out their person's name to keep it relevant. So you might say, hey John, and you want to just put your offer underneath. Hey John, we help marketing agencies land 3 to 5 clients within 90 days. So that's our offer. And obviously this is the section where there's a lot of people online sharing a lot of different tips, a lot of different tactics, a lot of different strategies. And if you've sent cold emails in the past, you might hear a section about something called a personalized first line. And I'll tell you this, I'll let you in on a little secret. Based on my data, after sending over 1 million plus cold emails and booking hundreds of sales calls, a personalized line does help if it's done correctly, but is 100% not needed. So the way that people would teach it is they'll tell you to write a 1-line compliment to the person that you're reaching out to. So you might say something like, hi John, I saw you're in Los Angeles. Go Lakers. Or hi John, saw you're in New York City. Have you visited the Statue of Liberty? ? And in my opinion, not only do these personalized lines, not only would they not work, but they will actively work against you. And the reason why is because people aren't stupid, right? You have to understand that. People are pretty smart and they know exactly what you're doing. And when you use a personalized line like this, it will come off as extremely fake. It will come off as insincere, and it will make people think that you are kind of just half-assing your email because these aren't even real compliments. And if you were to add a personalized line, this is the right way that you need to do it. You actually need to do research on your prospects, and this will literally take time. There's no shortcuts here, which is why I don't recommend people start with personalized lines. But if you wanted to use a personalized line, here's an example of one that will work really, really well. You might say, hi John, I was listening to your Keeping It Real marketing podcast, and I heard you mention that you recently recruited John Smith as the CTO for Google. I agree with you that finding executive talent is both a skill and an art. So do you see how this line is really well personalized? And the only reason that I was able to call these things out is because I went and I spent 20 minutes doing research on John or whoever it is that I'm reaching out to. So the personalized stuff that you can create from AI or all these other tools, it really doesn't work, and you're just better off just saving your money, to be honest with you, right? Just save your money and focus on the fundamentals. Don't get too creative with whatever it is that you're doing because you really do not need it. Now, the purpose of a personalized line is to show people that you actually spent time to research the prospect. And this is an example of one where you clearly demonstrate that. And using AI personalized first lines or writing a generic compliment will not accomplish this for you. It just won't. And in these cases, if you just don't have the time or you don't have the ability to hire someone to help you write a specific personalized first line and do all of that research, it's best to just not include one at all. And some of my best cold email campaigns literally don't have any personalization in it. It doesn't have any personalized lines, and it just jumps right into the offer and how I can help them. Now, finally, the next step is to use something called a call to action. And a major aspect to why a cold email would print is because of the call to action, which is essentially your next step. You're telling people how you can help them. What's the next step? If someone's interested, where do they go from here? And this is why most people struggle with their cold emails. So this is an example that I pulled from someone who sent me a cold emails. I don't know who Rachel Adams is. If she's watching this, you could use this as kind of like a tip or something to think or consider for your cold emails. So you could pause this video and read this cold email of what Rachel is actually saying to me, but her call to action is what I call a hard call to action, which is essentially directly asking for people to book a time on your calendar. Can you chat later today? ? And you have to understand that the flaw with using a call to action, which is asking people to book a time, is again, people that you're reaching out to for the first time using cold emails is cold traffic, meaning they don't know you, they don't trust you. So why would someone who doesn't know you or doesn't trust you, why would they want to take 30 minutes out of the day to jump on a call with you knowing that you're going to sell them your service? Think about that. Think about that for just a second. It just doesn't make sense because you need to give them something before asking for something back in return. And remember how earlier in the previous section, we created a sales asset that we created, right? You want to be sending your prospects that sales asset that you created. That's literally what you want to do. But a key note is, again, right? You do not want to be sending any links. You don't want to be sending any images. You don't want to be sending any videos up front, because if you send any links up front, what will happen is your deliverability will take a massive hit and all of your cold emails will now land in spam. So what we could do as a solution instead is leveraging something that I call a value permission-based call to action, where essentially you're just asking for permission to send over the sales asset that you created. So something simple such as, hey John, I put together a quick video running through exactly how this works or exactly how we do this. Mind if I share it with you? ? So what we're doing is we're asking for permission to send them value. And obviously if John is interested, he's going to reply back to you and say, sure, Jimmy, I want to see that video. And that's where you send that sales asset. And the reason this works so well is because this is a no-brainer on their end if they actually have a problem which you can help them solve, and your sales asset is, again, the solution to the problem that you are helping them solve. Now, using this strategy, this is a lot less friction since you're giving someone value first as opposed to asking for something, right off the bat. And using a value permission-based call to action will instantly skyrocket your reply rates. I have never seen a scenario where it just doesn't. So make sure you add that call to action to your cold emails. So putting it all together, here is what our cold email might look like. Hey John, we help marketing agencies land 3 to 5 clients within 90 days. So this is our offer. And our call to action is put together a quick video running through exactly how this works. Mind if I share it with you? ? This is a fundamentally good cold email, right? And when you're first starting out with cold emails, so if you're watching this and you have never sent a cold email, or maybe you have sent cold emails, try to add what I just shared with you into your cold email process. And I absolutely guarantee you that you will see much, much, much better results. Now, obviously, as the saying goes, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's just a million ways to write good cold emails, but when you're first starting out, make sure you're just sticking to the fundamentals, right? There's a ton of room for creativity. There's a ton of room to try different things and different strategies, but every successful cold emails uses each of these things. It has an offer and it has a call to action. And you need to be making sure that you are writing your cold emails with both of these things. And if you're not having these things, then you need to go back to the drawing board and add these things in. Now, finally, a really important note is your only goal with cold emails is to get a reply. So I know a lot of people who send cold emails, and what a lot of people do is they think the cold emails is where you sell your product. You're not selling your product using a cold emails. You're selling a reply. There's a subtle little difference there, right? And the largest mistake people make is to try to sell people over an email, right? So don't do that. Just keep that in mind, that your only goal with a cold email is to get a reply. That's all your entire goal is, because you don't want to be too pushy up front or do all of these things that pressure people over an email. Again, no one's going to buy your $1,000 service over a quick 4-line email. They're just not. Now, as a general KPI to look out for, if you're sending cold emails, or if you're watching this, haven't sent any cold emails, and you go through everything I just shared with you and start sending cold emails, here are the general KPIs that you want to be aware of to make sure that your cold emails are actually going to work. Now, if your open rate is below 50%, what that means is you have a deliverability issue. People just aren't reading your emails, or they're going all into the spam folder. Or if your reply rate is under 2 to 3%, then what you have is a deliverability issue, and you need to go back to the drawing board and rewrite your cold email copy. Now, the good news is if you follow this framework that I just shared with you, you will at minimum get over a 3% reply rate. You just will, because this cold email framework, it just works. It's the fundamentals. It will work. It's time tested, battle tested. I've done this in hundreds of different industries, and it will just work. Now, here's a super exciting section for you, which is my own proven cold email scripts. These are all scripts that I've personally written myself. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is so that you could get a better idea of how everything we just walked through together, how all of that ties together, because I understand that this could be a little bit overwhelming, or you might be a little bit confused and you want to see a real world example of what a cold email script might look like. Now, again, as a word of caution, I just have to say this, but don't go out and copy these scripts word for word. And the reason why, it's not because it won't work for you. If you copy these scripts word for word, it's gonna work for you. But the reason why you don't want to do that is because if you are trying to build a business for the long run, it's much better for you to understand how everything works, learn the theory behind it, and then go out and build your own cold email script as opposed to copying it off of me or copying it off of someone else. And then once something changes or the strategy becomes outdated, you're left not knowing how to proceed or how to move forward. So here are my own proven cold email scripts. So for example, here's a lead gen offer for recruitment agencies. You might say, hey John, we help recruitment agencies get 3 to 5 job orders within the next 90 days, adding you $75,000 in additional revenue without relying on word of mouth by leveraging our outbound organic framework. I put together a quick video running through how this works. Mind if I share it with you? So as you can see, this is our offer and this is our call to action. Now the next one would be a paid ads offer for software companies. So someone who's running, let's say Facebook ads for different software companies. This is a real company called Thrive Digital, and they have a case study from Notion, where essentially you could go and check out this link yourself, but essentially they worked with Notion, ran some ads for them, and helped them improve a bunch of different metrics in regarding marketing, right? The importance is not that important, but just try to understand how I'm writing the cold email and see how that can be incorporated into your own cold emails. So hi John, is your company currently running ads on Facebook to acquire new users? So this, the intro line, is a thought-provoking question. The reason why I'm asking that is because I'm reaching out because we recently worked with Notion, so case study, where we got them this result using Facebook ads leading to this specific result. So this is kind of an offer baked in. You're essentially still telling different software companies what result that they can expect. And you're hiding that behind a case study, behind a story of you doing it for someone else. I put together a portfolio of specific ad creatives which led to this growth. Mind if I share them with you? So this is our call to action, and we're still leveraging a sales asset. So our sales asset in this case is a portfolio of specific ad creatives. Now, obviously, if a software company is running ads and they're kind of struggling with getting good results by running Facebook ads, they'll be really intrigued. They'll be really interested to see the specific strategies that you used or your client used to help Notion get this specific result. A 71% increase in click-through rate and a 66% increase in engagement rate. And obviously someone's gonna reply back and you're gonna send them the sales asset. Now the third one is a YouTube ads offers for creators, such as myself, right? I'm a YouTuber or part-time YouTuber, but my YouTube channel is growing pretty quickly, so hopefully a full-time YouTuber soon. But anyways, hi John, are you currently running YouTube ads? Reason why is because Google recently revamped their entire ads targeting system, which has dramatically decreased return on ad spend, so ROAS, for the vast majority of YouTube ads users. So this is my intro line, and I started off with digging at a pain point. And the reason why I was able to come up with this pain point is because I did research. So I'm leading with insights now. Well, what we found is with the new algorithm changes, running YouTube ads want to focus on the following 3 things. Number 1, ad creative is king. Number 2, disqualifying hard in the first 5 seconds of the ad. And number 3, focus on interest-based audiences. So I'm giving insights that are truly valuable to showcase my expertise. Now, by focusing on these changes, we were able to help recent company, this case study, achieve this specific result despite these new Google rollouts. Mind if I share a quick case study video showing you the exact campaign structure that we used to achieve this? So I'm still leveraging the sales asset, which in this case would be a case study video. Now, obviously, this third cold email is a little bit more advanced than what we went over earlier, but the reason this will still convert is because I'm asking a pain point, which I know that a creator is anyone who's using YouTube ads is currently facing. So this is a massive problem. I'm giving insights upfront. So I'm leading with value to increase curiosity and to build my expertise and trust, because someone who isn't an expert at YouTube ads will not understand each of these 3 things. And then because people are curious, they're going to say, Sure, Jimmy, I'd love to see that case study video of how you implemented these three things, and the campaign structure that you used. Now, again, don't go out and copy these scripts word for word. Just break down these scripts and try to understand how I'm incorporating the intro line, the offers, and the call to actions, and how I'm tying all of those things together to build a successful cold email campaign. Inbox management and replying back to leads. So now that we're sending emails, assuming you're leveraging cold emails the right way, you will get replies. People are going to reply back to you saying they're interested, asking you a question, asking you how much does this cost, asking about how your service can help them. And this aspect of what we're going to share with you right now is super important, because you have to understand that people will very rarely book a call right off the bat from your initial email sequence. As the saying goes, the money's in the follow-ups. They will likely reply back to you first with a question. So however, there's a specific way you want to be doing this, and you obviously don't want to be spending hours of your day replying back to emails. That's super boring, and no one wants to do that. So luckily, after you get a bunch of replies, you're gonna start noticing some common patterns and some common replies. And as a result, you're actually able to create templates allowing you to free up your time. And this is a process that might take you 30 minutes to an hour a day to just reply back to all of your leads. Now, before we move into the templates, it's actually important for you to understand that replying back to leads is both an art and a science. On one hand, if someone is asking you, how much does this cost? You can't just straight up ignore the question, because otherwise the conversation will just end there. But on the other hand, you still need to answer the question, but leave them with a sense of curiosity. Because if the prospect had just all the answers, they knew everything they needed to know, then there wouldn't be a reason for them to actually jump on a call in the first place. So there's a balance that must be achieved in order to reply back to prospects. Now, this might sound super obvious as well, but make sure you're actually replying back to your leads in a timely manner. So in the sales space, this is actually called time to lead. And here's actually a screenshot that I pulled from Google that says 78% of B2B customers actually purchase from a vendor that responds first, right? Responding within the first few minutes increased lead conversion by 391% versus replying back much longer, right? So this is literally backed by science. So here are the most common replies that you will actually receive. You're gonna hear people say, I'm not interested. And when you get these type of responses, just ignore it and move on with your day. That's just the nature. 99% of people will just say no, because what you have for sale is just not something that they need right now. That's completely fine. The next type of replies are out of office replies, right? And what you want to do is you want to just mark them or label them as out of office inside your sending tool, so Smartly or Instantly, and you want to circle back with those out of office people within the next 3 to 4 weeks. The next one is people that just says, I'm interested, and here's what you want to say. You want to say, hey John, sure, reason for my email is because we help you do this. So your offer is going to go over here. Here's a quick video running through exactly how we achieve this specific result. So your sales asset with the link. If you're not opposed to it, here's my calendar to set up a time to explore this in way more detail. So this is where the hard call to action will come out. And now you're redirecting people to book a sales call with you. And obviously that's going to be your calendar link. The next template is going to be what's the price. So a lot of people are just going to reply back to you and say, sure, Jimmy, this sounds awesome. How much does this cost? And this is where you have to be very strategic with it, because it's kind of an objection. And what you want to say is this. Hey, John, well, our pricing structure varies based on the specific scope of work, but generally we have a one-time setup fee, and this is going to be our pricing structure. But the key word here is notice how I'm not giving any specific numbers. I'm not saying this is going to cost me $3,000. This is going to cost you $4,000. This is going to cost you $2,500. I'm just answering it with the general pricing structure. That way, I'm not just blatantly ignoring the question, I'm answering the question, but I'm still leaving room for curiosity so that people will still want to jump on a call. And I say, can't give a specific number since it really depends on the infrastructure that is required. And this is going to be for cold emails or for the service that you're selling. If you're open to it, we can explore this in way more detail over a quick call. If not, no worries. And this type of template, this type of reply just cooks. The largest mistake people make is giving all the information up front. So using this specific framework, you're answering the question, but you're not directly answering the question. And then finally, the final reply that you're going to get a lot of is, let's set up a call. And don't jump the gun here, but you still have to be strategic with your reply. You can say, sure, John, if you're free, let's chat on Thursday or Friday at 3 p.m. EST, question mark. Or if it's easier, here's my calendar to set up a time that actually just works for you. And now that would be your Calendly link. And let's talk soon. And these are the reply templates that you want to use to reply back to leads who actually reply back to your cold emails. Now, if you made it this far and you still have doubts that what I shared with you in today's video just works, here's some proof that not only did what I shared with you today works for myself, but for a bunch of other people as well. So here are some other people who are building a lead generation agency. So kind of the same business that I have at salesweight.io. And by using cold emails, they're just getting results and, getting replies, booking sales calls, and making money all through using cold emails to acquire clients. So I'm not going to go through all of this because I've just so many of these, but I just wanted to highlight a few of them just so that you understand that this process just simply works. So we have Brian Tsai, who you could pause this video at any point in time and read through these screenshots in detail. But we have Brian Tsai, who using this process, using cold emails, using the sales asset that we talked about, he was able to go from 0 to 11K with his own lead generation agency by I think his second or by his third month, something like that, right? And he's just getting more clients, paying him $3,000, $2,000, whatever the case is. We have Spencer Duke, who I actually did an interview with on my YouTube channel. He went from 0 to 11.5K in literally 14 days by using cold emails. You can pause this and take a look. He's signing deals for 3K plus $300 per call, whatever the case is. We have Kevin Yu, another example of a YouTube interview that I have as well. Kevin went from 0 to $9,500 in 30 days with his own lead generation agency. With Tyler Ritchie, who went from 0 to $6,000 in 28 days. With Chino, who he lives in the Philippines, right? And the reason I share that is because that just proves that this system literally just works in any country in the world. It doesn't matter where you are. If people check their emails, then this process will work for you, right? He signed a bunch of clients, signing 2K, $1,500, $3,000, whatever the case is. You see over here on March 21st, he signed his sixth client for $3,000 by simply using cold emails. All of these people are using cold emails, reaching out to whoever it is that they want to sell their lead generation services to, booking them in using cold emails because this process just works, right? And we have a ton more case studies over here. There's a ton here, and I don't want to build like a 1 hour long video talking about this entire process, but this process just simply works, right? I have just so many case studies. Now, kind of as a next step, I didn't gatekeep any information on today's video, and if you take action on the information from this video, you will make money 100%. There's just simply no way. This process is battle tested. I showed you proof that it works for me. I've showed you proof of it working for all of these other people that you just saw who are using cold emails, sending them out, reaching out to who they need to do, generating eyeballs, generating traffic, and getting results, getting replies, getting sales calls, and making money all through signing clients that they achieved from sending cold emails. Now, again, this is the type of information in today's video that gurus will try to sell you for thousands of dollars to you. And I'm giving it to you completely for free. Now, obviously, all of this will make sense if you're watching this video, you're driving, you're at the gym, or whatever the case is. All of it's going to make sense. But once you actually do it, you're 100% going to run into challenges, run into problems, or you're just simply going to have questions. That's just the nature of this stuff. And as a business owner, it's kind of on you to figure some of these things out yourself. It's called problem solving. That's just the way it works. But the problem is this process might take you 3 months. It might take you 6 months. It might even take you a year for you to build out all of these things, try a bunch of different things, and it'll take you a really long time for you to actually see results, which is exactly why I have an offer for you, for those of you who made it to the end of this video. So here's my offer for you. If you're looking to start your own lead generation agency and scale it to $10,000 per month in the next 90 days, then use the first link below to set up a time to chat with me. And by the way, I'm not selling a course. It's not, all of this random stuff that you see online. It's a one-on-one consulting program where I work together with you one-on-one to help you pick your niche, to help you craft your offers. I will personally write your own cold email scripts for you, walk you through the process of building out your sales asset, review all your sales calls, and everything like that. There's also a community where you can reach out to me, reach out to everyone else that you just saw in this video who's also building their own lead generation agency and get all of your questions answered regarding building the business, regarding getting results with cold emails, and all of that stuff. So again, if you're interested in working with me to start and scale your lead generation agency to $10,000 per month in the next 90 days, then use the first link in the description down below to set up a time to chat with me. But that's basically all I wanted to share in today's video. Hope you like it, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.